We were lucky.
It's not too hot, not too hot. Yeah, it's nice now. This temperature is nice anyway. Yeah, but we're going to stay here almost 20 minutes or half an hour. First, I'm going to give you like the introduction about Machu Picchu. First, history, location, and after that, we're going down to explore finally Machu Picchu. Yeah, but welcome to Machu Picchu. And you see how beautiful is this Incan site. Machu Picchu today is the most important archaeological site of Peru and of course of Cusco City. And we are here over 8,000 feet. 8,000 feet, the location of Machu Picchu, it's the beginning of our high Amazon, the cloud forest. That's why I was telling you before that this place is green all year around because rains most of the time in here. Almost 10 months that we get rain at Machu Picchu. That's the reason why all year round this is very green, and as well the vegetation is so thick in this place. But why Machu Picchu? It's so impressive. Not just the construction of Machu Picchu, also the surrounding. You see the scenery here, mountains and mountains everywhere. This place is right at the middle of the mountains. And according to our people nowadays, 4 sacred mountains are protecting Machu Picchu, like 4 holy mountains. The famous one is Huayna Picchu, it's this one, yeah? And Huayna Picchu mountain, I was telling you that it's a famous mountain because every day 400 people climb to this mountain. It takes more or less 1 hour.
Where do they start?
There is like a path at the bottom. You see the 2 houses down below?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is the beginning.
Oh, I see. It starts there and wraps around.
Steps and then goes down, and then finally straight up to the top. 1 hour to the top, but now it's limited. Just 400 people every day. Just to be different.
Special permit for that.
You have to book in advance as well. Another extra ticket for Huayna Picchu mountain. Used to be different, like free. But now, since 2011, the new regulations, the new laws. That's how now just 400 people to the mountain. Yeah. And Huayna Picchu, it's over 9,000 feet. The top of the mountain is 8,000. It's like 1,000 feet up.
You can do that.
1,000 feet
That's
up.
that cave we did.
To the very, very top of the mountain. But there is a proper way on the left side of the mountain, but just steps. Steps all the way up to the hill, or to the mountain, yeah? That's the famous Huayna Picchu mountain. And Huayna Picchu is one more Quechua name. Most of the names today are in Quechua, because still today Quechua language important in Peru. Let's say that almost 20% of our people in Peru speak Quechua. That's the reason why the names are in Quechua, because that's the way how we keep our cultural life, our customs, our traditions. And Quechua is still very important for us. We're trying to keep this language to keep our culture alive. That's how the names are in Quechua, but not the real names anymore. Real names got lost by the time, and no one knows exactly as well. Remember that there is no written language from Incan period. There is no document from Incan period about Machu Picchu. That's the reason why most of the information got lost. And Huayna Picchu, it's the name of the mountain, Quechua, but new name, yeah? The name, it was put by the local people, the locals. That's how still nowadays we call us Huayna Picchu. That means the young mountain. Huayna means young, Picchu means mountain. This is the famous Huayna Picchu mountain. To the north, to the east, there is another mountain that has a very special shape. That's the Happy Hill. Happy Hill or Putucusi is the Quechua name, yes? The Happy Hill, it's over 8,600 feet. And as well, people climb to this mountain from the back side, and takes 2 hours to the very, very top. It's a hard climb as well, because as well it's very steep and steps all the way up. But the view, no, never. No. It happens like kind of accidents, but no one fell and no one died as well. Yeah, just you have to be very careful when you go there, and especially on the wet season.
Do you have to take a guide with you to do that?
You can do on your own, but sometimes it's better to take a guide with you, yeah? But the view from the top is nice because it's a different viewpoint, different angle of Machu Picchu. This place is right in front of the mountain. That's the Happy Hill or Putucusi in Quechua. To the west, there is another mountain, important as well, that has almost a flat shape. That's the San Mike or San Miguel Mountain. And to the south, finally, our famous Machu Picchu mountain. But now the bushes are blocking the view. But when we are going down, we will see better the mountain, yeah? And Machu Picchu mountain, it's over 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is higher than Huayna Picchu, 1,000 feet higher. But the name is famous, very well known. But the name Machu Picchu only refers to the name of the mountain. Was not the name of this place. No one knows exactly what was the name of this place, but the name now it's famous, it's popular. That's how still we call to this Incan site as Machu Picchu, but just refers to the mountain, yeah? And as well, Machu Picchu mountain, it's another famous climb. Every day, 200 people climb to the Machu Picchu mountain.
They're all special permits.
From
Permits
here?
as
Do they
well.
get there from here?
Yeah, from here, from the border, just on the corner. On the corner is the checkpoint, the control point to Machu Picchu mountain. 200 people every day to the mountain Machu Picchu and takes 1 hour 40 minutes, like almost 2 hours.
Where
It's
do
a
you
long
start
hike.
to the sun gate?
From the sun gate is this as well, but you go from the corner, you go down the stairs, and then you follow the main path. But for Machu Picchu is the right way. And yeah, Sandgate, I was telling you that is free. You don't need any extra ticket for Sandgate, just for Huayna Picchu and Machu Picchu mountain, yeah? And Machu Picchu, the name, Quechua, famous name, that means the old mountain. The old mountain, the young mountain. Machu Picchu, Huayna Picchu mountain, yeah? And as well the river, Urubamba, the sacred river that goes all the way around the mountains to the Amazon and then to the Atlantic Ocean. Urubamba River nowadays is considered the longest rivers. Used to be the Nilo, but now Urubamba, it's the longest rivers and the widest rivers as well. This famous sacred river of the Incas, yeah? And as well, Urubamba is one of the main sources of our Amazon River. Just like farther down, like 8,000 miles, 800 miles from here is where the Amazon River is. Yeah, the Amazon River, and that then gets very wide, and then it's more vegetation. That's our real Amazon. This is just like the head. This is just the beginning of our Amazon, yeah? But anyway, Machu Picchu, it's very important today because it's very well preserved. Machu Picchu has more or less between 60 to 70% original from Incan period. Remember that conquistadors, Spaniards, never found it. That's the reason why Machu Picchu is still very well preserved. And today Machu Picchu is the best example of Incan engineering, hydraulic, and architecture. This place is so strong, very stable after more than 600 years ago, because Machu Picchu belongs as well to 1400. 1400, the expansion period and the building activity of our people. The great time of Incas in 1400, yeah? And Machu Picchu was built in 1400 and probably Pachacútec. Had you heard about Pachacútec? Pachacútec, it was one of the most important kings. He was the knight leader, but he is very well known in our history because in his period, all the new laws, regulations, expansion, and the building activity as well in his period, yeah? That's how Pachacútec is very well known in our history. And as well, the name Pachacútec, Pacha is the earth, and Kuti, it's like transform or to change like that. And he's the one in 1430 in his period that ordered it to build Machu Picchu probably in his period, yeah? In 1430 until 1540. People couldn't stay here longer after Spaniards. Spaniards never found this place, but Machu Picchu was abandoned 7 years after conquistadors. They couldn't stay here longer because probably they saw that the Spaniards were coming one day, and to stay alive, to be safe, they left this place and no one knows what happens with the people of Machu Picchu. It's very sad that they couldn't stay here longer because it took more or less between 80 to 100 years the construction of Machu Picchu. Very long time, but they couldn't stay here for a long period. They were planning to stay here, obviously, but no idea about foreigners. That's the reason why exactly today no one knows if the people live in here or not. If they live in here for a short period, maybe 5-7 years, and then they just hurry up from Machu Picchu. That's the reason why Machu Picchu is another unfinished complex. Like most of the Incan sites in Cusco, unfinished, because when the Spaniards came over, the building activity stopped. They were still working, but Spaniards came and all the construction stopped in many places. Yeah, and as well, before the Spaniards, let's say almost 3 years before the Spaniards, a big situation it was happening in our territory, the civil war. Two kings, two stepbrothers were fighting, and there is when also the construction activity stopped because the Inca Empire was split two parts, one northern and one southern part, and the nobles were split as well. The situation in that time, it was really unsure for the population. That's the reason also before the Spaniards, all the building activities stopped. Yeah? And that's why also the Incan sites unfinished constructions, like Machu Picchu, when we're going to walk down, we will see still the evidences how they were still breaking some rocks, how they were still building bases at homes, but no time to finish because as well they ran away, they hurry up from Machu Picchu. Yeah? In 1540 probably is when they left Machu Picchu, and this place was like kind of abandoned for many years until 1911, 24 of July, when finally they found Machu Picchu, or they rediscovered. In 1911, the American guy, Hiram Bingham, was the one who made public and famous Machu Picchu. The scientific discovery of Machu Picchu in 1911 by the American professor. Yeah? He is very well known in every single book because he made public Machu Picchu because the Yale and the National Geographic were the sponsors of the American guy. But no one knows exactly who was the first person at Machu Picchu, because remember that before 1911 our locals, they knew it very well about this place. Also, when he was here in 1911, he found two families of farmers living at Machu Picchu. By the checkpoint, the control point, they were living there. Means that our people knew it very well about Machu Picchu, but just in 1911 they made public this place, this Incan site. And this was all covered by the vegetation, more than 60% covered by the vegetation. Today it looks so well preserved because it took almost over 40 years to remove the vegetation from Machu Picchu. And still nowadays you see that how this vegetation grows faster. The humidity here is so high as well. And that's how still 10% of Machu Picchu is missed. Down below the river, still terraces are covered by the vegetation. Yeah, it's a really hard work to maintain Machu Picchu. That's how it took almost 40 years to remove the vegetation from Machu Picchu. They found it almost intact, the construction, but to remove the vegetation, they moved some of the rocks, some of the block of rocks as well, and then they put back the rocks together. Means that they did the restoration of Machu Picchu. 30% of Machu Picchu now is new, the reconstruction that they did in here as well. But still 60% is original because the temples, the important high constructions, are almost 95. Some of the temples 100% original from our Incan period because temples with high quality and better quality. That's how temples are so very strong today, because they fit the rocks together without any element, and the rocks are totally smooth and flat. It's not like this. This is poor quality. We call as pirca style, just small rocks with mud mortar in between, but temples with the high quality, like the best stonework. Means that probably one of the best architects of the whole territory, or the best ones, were the ones who designed Machu Picchu. the best architects, and as well they were training and they were trying to improve as well in here the different techniques and different styles of construction. That's how Machu Picchu has more or less over 10 different styles of construction, because probably the architects were trying to improve more and to practice more the different techniques in the architecture. That's how Incas are very well known in South America, because they did big constructions. But remember, always when we talk about Incas, let's say 1400, we have to talk about pre-Incas. Pre-Incas we call to every single civilization before Incas, pre-Incas, yeah? And Incas, what they did, they took advance. They assimilate more of the knowledge from pre-Inca civilizations. That's how, in a short time, short period, just 100 years, they did a lot, because they took advantage of pre-Inca civilizations as well. Who knows, maybe as well Machu Picchu was built before Incas, and Incas just took advantage of the bases and they made nicer temples on the top. That's how Incas are very well known, because they improved the architecture in 1400, yeah? And as well, Machu Picchu, it's very important because still today Machu Picchu keeps a lot of information about our Andean people. There are different astronomical points, different solar points that still today are working at Machu Picchu. That's how people, our like Andean people, astronomers in that time, could calculate the position of the sun. Still today, the sundials at Machu Picchu are working. Shadows are happening, and thanks to the shadows, they could calculate the position of the sun, like the seasons, the different seasons as well. That's how still nowadays Machu Picchu keeps a lot of information from our civilization as well, yeah? But took 80 to 100 years the construction at Machu Picchu, because this is very strong. As well, the base of Machu Picchu underground is almost 7 feet. 7 feet underground, there is another wall. That's how this is so strong after more than 600 years ago. And the earthquakes are happening in here, but nothing happened with the walls, nothing happened with the construction, because those buildings are as well earthquake-proof. Earthquake-proof. That's how bases of the walls, foundations. That's how we're going to see walls with angles, with inclinations, like from 7 to 10 degrees more or less. All it's well done, means that they didn't make any mistakes. What they did in here first, the planning, previous investigations, the perfect model, because they have to design every single construction at Machu Picchu that took probably like half of the time. In total, 80 or 100 years. But maybe they have to spend half of the time to do all the previous investigations. Why in here? Why in this wild geography? One of the main reasons why Machu Picchu is here, because the water, the most important element. And still nowadays, the water at Machu Picchu is running. There is fresh water all year around. And from where the water comes, from the Machu Picchu mountain, like almost 2,000 feet higher from here, is where they found a natural spring. And they have to carve all the way down to here a proper canal that still brings water to Machu Picchu nowadays. Hydraulic ability from our people as well is very impressive, yeah? And that's how Machu Picchu was built in this place. Main reason, water, this important element, yeah? But why Spaniards never found it? Spaniards never found Machu Picchu because have you been in Ollantaytambo before? Ollantaytambo is one of the Incan sites on the Sacred Valley of Cusco, yeah? And Manco Inca, who was Manco Inca? Manco Inca was one of the last kings, the Incan kings. And what he did, he was trying to recover the power of our empire again when the Spaniards came over. Means that he organized a big revolution against conquistadors. And he was fighting against the conquistadors, but he wasn't stronger than the Spaniards. And that's the reason why he was captured and he was killed. And what Manco Inca did first, he took Sacsayhuaman, the big Incan site in Cusco City, on the top of Cusco, nearby the White Christ. The White Christ, there is a big complex, Sacsayhuaman. He took that place as the first refuge to fight against the Spaniards, yeah? Like another fortress, like another tower. And he couldn't do anything because the Spaniards were very strong. And he had to abandon Sacsayhuaman, and he went farther up to Chinchero. Chinchero is another Incan site as well. Happens the same there. He couldn't stay there longer as well because the Spaniards were entering there, and he as well left that place, and he went to Ollantaytambo. Ollantaytambo was the last place that he took as a fortress. As well, he couldn't do anything, and he saw that the Spaniards were coming. And what he did, he ordered to all the army, to all the soldiers, to destroy all the different access to Machu Picchu, because he knew that the Spaniards were coming to Ollantaytambo, and Machu Picchu from Ollantaytambo is not far away. That's how he saw, oh no, this is our last chance. We have to do something before the Spaniards arrive here. And he ordered to destroy all the Inca trails to Machu Picchu. That's one of the reasons why conquistadors never found Machu Picchu, because he ordered that. All the bridges as well that collapsed, and that's the reason why conquistadors never found Machu Picchu. And from Ollantaytambo, he went farther down, he took another road, and he went to Vilcabamba. And Vilcabamba is very well known today as the last refuge of Manco Inca. There is where Spaniards captured and killed him, in Vilcabamba. And Vilcabamba is not far away from Machu Picchu, as well as in the Amazon area. But conquistadors took a different road as well to go there. That's the reason why no Machu Picchu, because all the different access were totally destroyed, and the Spaniards never found any evidence of different Inca trails. That's the reason why finally, after more than 600 years ago, and conquistadors never found this Incan site, yeah? And as well, Machu Picchu, one of the reasons why it's in here, because the material that they found. I was telling you where they found the stones. They found the stones all over this place. It's another natural rocky mountain. To bring rocks to here, there is no way. It's almost impossible, because the steep mountains in here, this makes very hard, to move rocks. That's the reason why they just took advantage of one big geological fault. The rocks all over this place, yeah? The material in here is granite stone, very strong. Granite is one of the strongest stones, but no choices for them. They have to use this material, and they have to learn it how to work this stone as well. And that's how it took almost 100 years. Because to work this stone, they have to use another stronger rock. In this case, hematite. Hematite stone, that is an iron stone. No iron tools, but the iron stone. Remember that all was made by hand, by the manpower. But took just a long time for them, yeah, to make this single place in this location. Material granite stone, that's why when we are going to walk around, you will see in many places big natural rocks that they just took advance. They just took advance, and they adapt the big natural rocks with the construction as well, because they couldn't do anything with the big rocks as well. They couldn't move the rocks because the foundations of some big rocks, like maybe 7-10 feet, who knows how much also, is the foundation underneath. That's how in many cases what they did to make strong this place, they took advantage of the foundations of the big rocks, because are stronger than any wall that they make at Machu Picchu, yeah? You see that this place is the best example now of Incan engineering, hydraulic and architecture, yeah? As well, in Machu Picchu, they did farming, but not in big quantities. Machu Picchu has terraces, but most of the terraces at Machu Picchu, retaining walls, yeah, to avoid the erosion. That's how you see the terraces. Some of the terraces, they go all the way down to the river. They're retaining walls in here. Just a few terraces for farming, but they didn't make like proper farming activity in here. They did more investigations, more experimentations like that. they could use and they could take advantage of the different microclimates of this area to domesticate different seeds. And that's how in most of the Incan sites always terraces, because they use the terraces for studies, more for studies. When they were going to get the right seed, they have to take this seed to the same level, to the same climate, to grow in big quantities for the population. But on the terraces, they did studies, yeah? That's how nowadays Peru has over 300 different species of corn, potatoes, 250 different species of vegetables as well. And this comes from old times. Means that in Peru, we can grow everything, every single vegetable and fruit that we grow in Peru, because Peru has almost 85 of the microclimates. 85 of the microclimates. Yeah, in total it's like 28 more or less, or 280. But Peru has almost half of this, and that's how we grow every single plant in this area in Machu Picchu and in Peru in general, because Peru is very different. Peru changed from the coast side, the Andes Mountains, and the Amazon. Yeah, and the different microclimates and the ecosystem, and everything helps in this area. That's how our land has a lot of soil, very rich our land. That's how in different levels we grow different stuff as well. Goes from potatoes, corn, and then the vegetables. Yeah, best potatoes from over 13,000 feet. The best potatoes, yeah. The best corn from 8,000 feet to 10,000 feet. The best corn, but best potato as well from 10,000 feet to 14,000 feet. The best potatoes, yeah. Potato can grow here, but not the best quality. The roots are so little and no flavor, no taste. That's how our best potatoes, huge and big potatoes, from over 13,000 feet that we get, yeah? Always from the highlands, our potatoes. And this place is very big, and that's why Machu Picchu was split in two sectors. The farming sector, where they did all the studies, we're going to see better. Going down, from the corner down below, we will see better the farming sector, the terraces. And the residential sector. The residential sector is where most of the homes and the temples are. And the most important sector of Machu Picchu, the residential sector, because there is where the temples, the astronomical points are. And the total population of Machu Picchu in 1500, 800 people, the total population, according to the quantity of homes. And Machu Picchu has more or less over 100 homes. And in every single home, 6 or 7 people, like a family in one single room. That's how they calculated 800 people, the population of Machu Picchu, in 1500, yeah? Or let's say 1530, 1540, or sorry, 1534 or 35, just before they left and abandoned this place. Probably they live in here, but short time, short period in here, yeah? And one of the theories about Machu Picchu, because Machu Picchu has different hypotheses, because no one knows exactly what was this place, is that Machu Picchu could be like a university, important university for the very important high-class chosen people. Important masters, healers, priests could live here, not everyone. University, astronomy, astrology, architecture, and religion, but just for the very important people. Another hypothesis, according to the last investigations that they did, that Machu Picchu could be another center, like the base of the Amazon. Remember that our people didn't expand to the Amazon. They expanded more north, south, but not the Amazon. That's how Pachacútec, in his period, 1430, he was planning already to conquer the Amazon. That's the reason why he ordered to build Machu Picchu in this spot, because this is the entrance, the head to the Amazon, because he was planning to conquer the Amazon later on, because they were the strongest enemies of them. But they couldn't do that because Spaniards finally arrived. That's the reason no time for the expansion of the Amazon. Another important military, social, political center for the Amazon, probably Machu Picchu, yeah? But very important for sure, like a sacred place, like an important temple, Machu Picchu in Incan period. But it's very sad that there is no written language, there is no written information of Machu Picchu from Incan period. Most of the information got lost. Also, one of the reasons is because in our civilization, the social organization was split by levels: upper class, lower class. Upper class, they were the ones with the power and the knowledge. And remember that conquistadors kill first the head, the upper class, and they were the ones with the knowledge and the power. When they killed most of them, the information as well got lost with them. Yeah, got lost with them. That's the reason why there is no single written evidence of Machu Picchu nowadays. But they are still looking for new evidences. Who knows, maybe they will find new artifacts in the next years, because the last discovery that they did 2 years ago, there you see, there is a line right at the middle of the bushes. Looks like a landslide. That's the last discovery. It's another Inca trail. It's the foundation, like the base of one more Inca trail. And who knows how farther up the trail used to go. And who knows, maybe there is another Incan site over there. Means that this was not the last place in here. Still, there are more Incan sites, but undiscovered in our Amazon. Yeah? The American guy, Hiram Bingham, when he was at Machu Picchu, he saw that this was the lost city of the Incas. But after all the investigations, finally, no. Still today, who knows where the lost city of the Incas is? They're still looking and doing some like small expeditions to make more investigations over there. They're trying to remove the vegetation, but hopefully they will find in the next years another Incan site as well. And there we will have more information about the surrounding of Machu Picchu, and we can have a clear version of Machu Picchu in the future. But still today, the information is really missed about Machu Picchu. Yeah, they are still finding new artifacts still nowadays, and they took most of the artifacts from Machu Picchu as well to the States. Yeah, there is no place to see the artifacts in Peru, in Cusco, but they found a lot of artifacts in here, and almost 170 human skeletons, like between males, females, and children as well, that they found the skeletons in here. Yeah. And as well, nowadays, with the new excavations, they are finding some little artifacts as well. And who knows, maybe they will find more, because one of the problems in Machu Picchu is that they didn't make deep investigations. Still, 50% of Machu Picchu, still we need to study. They just studied 50% of this place, and still 50 more to find and to discover. Yeah, who knows, maybe there is more information that is still hidden in Machu Picchu. Who knows? And do you have maybe any questions about Machu Picchu?
Well, did they cut the mountain off?
Yeah.
They did, so it was higher.
It was higher, yeah. That's how we miss like most of the upper part of the houses, like the second floor,
Out of
like
the
that.
stone.
Yeah.
What are these for, these walls here that split?
Those walls like here,
Yeah.
like a big storage room,
Oh,
like a
is that what
big
it is?
storage room.
That's why it has
how
openings?
open kind, like open doors, ventilation, like natural freezers. Yeah. Machu Picchu has as well almost 100 storage rooms. They needed this because I was telling you that they didn't grow food here. They did more investigations or studies.
So they brought
and they
food
have
in?
to bring all the supplies from different lands. That's how Machu Picchu was so well communicated by 6 different Inca trails. The one that is famous is the 4 days hike. That's the only one that today is well preserved. But 5 more other Inca trails were connecting Machu Picchu with different regions
They just
for the food, the supplies. Yeah, they needed that. Especially at Machu Picchu, it was going to be like another capital or base for the Amazon. They had and they needed food for the whole workers class. The army also as well, they needed food because population at Machu Picchu in this short time, 800 people. But workers, because they were the ones who did the heavy stuff, the hard work. Maybe over 2,000 workers at Machu Picchu, cutting, breaking rocks and building this, like over 2,000 workers. And they needed supplies for almost 3,000 people in total, yeah? That's how they needed storage rooms, and they needed the communication system as well. 6 different Inca trails that were connecting Machu Picchu with the different regions as well, yeah? Who knows, maybe the one that they found just 2 years ago, it was the one who was going all the way up to that sector and then down to our Amazon. And still, there are more little Incan size over there. Not like Machu Picchu, but smaller Incan size probably. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Would like-